Your nervous system directly affects the type of reality of life, of success, of abundance that you are able to hold. If you are watching this in current time, you could be possibly going through a limbo phase right now where you're not exactly where you used to be and you're not exactly where you are supposed to be yet. And even if you're not watching this or listening to this in real time, when it was originally posted, this will find you at a moment where you need to hear this message. I trust that. A lot of manifestation, this new age manifestation, and this new age just like go after what you want. What you want will find you. Keep visioning it. All of these ways of thought and practice, they don't speak to the nervous system. And the nervous system and your capacity and what you are able to hold is so important, and not enough people are talking about it. Have you ever had an opportunity come your way and you dropped the ball? Maybe you got freaked out and weren't able to hit the metrics or to hit whatever you needed to hit to receive the opportunity. Or maybe you said you were too busy and let it pass by you. Or maybe this opportunity was something that you really wanted, but it freaked you out and it sent you in a tizzy and it stressed you out that it never actually ended up coming into fruition. That is because at that time your nervous system wasn't able to hold that thing. So we can do all of the work and calling in whatever we want, calling in the money, calling in the job, calling in the opportunity, whatever. But if we are not also working on our nervous system capacity to hold the thing, to hold the life, right? To hold what will be required of you once you are living in that lifeline, it's just going to slip through the fingers. I teach this work a lot in my money magic because this directly works with money and your income capacity and the money that you are able to hold. So yes, it has to do with money, and then also has to do with ways of life and what we are manifesting and different lifelines. So I have a bunch of notes here. Okay. Self-sabotage. I used to be huge in self-sabotage, okay? I would get what I wanted, and then I wouldn't show up to the thing. Or I wouldn't show up to the occasion. Or I wouldn't show up to whatever I had to show up to, whether that's doing something, producing something, being a certain way, or showing up to a certain place. I would self-sabotage it by stress, by freaking myself out, by sending myself into a tizzy. If you self-sabotage, that is because your nervous system can't hold whatever it is. And when we self-sabotage, it's usually because we don't feel safe. And why don't we feel safe? Because we haven't allowed our nervous system to stretch into the capacity to hold this thing. Our bodies can sometimes look at something new as a threat. Not because it actually is a threat, not because that is truth, but because it's unknown. And we are equating what is unknown to being unsafe. Well, any new beginning, any next level of income, any next opportunity, whatever it is, any different new lifeline, it's going to be unknown because it's new. We haven't lived it before. We haven't held that before. We haven't had that before. So until we address the body's way of looking at what is unknown as unsafe, we won't be able to hold that next level. So how do we do that? You come home to the body. You get out of that little rat race of a mind and allow the body to tell you through cues of, ooh, this is an edge for me, right? And we soften around the edges by giving your body what it needs. And I know this sounds like, wait, but I want this new opportunity, or wait, I want this next level of income. Shouldn't I be doing things to make sure that happens? Yeah, you should be. But are you also tending to your nervous system? Are you also listening to your body? Are you also giving your body what it needs at the same point, at the same time? Yes, take the action, yes, do the thing, but also take care of your body. Because if not, all of those actions, it's not going to stick in your reality because your body, your nervous system can't hold it. So what do? You make practices like breathwork your best friend. You move your body. You stretch, you move the stress, the tension from your fascia. You do some unwinding at night every night. You notice as you're going throughout your day, ooh, I feel a little tight, I feel a little tense. Oh, I notice my breathing is getting a little shallow here. Okay, that means your nervous system's getting triggered a little bit. Instead of go into the next thing on the to-do list, you take a step back and you say, what does my body actually need right now to feel safe, to feel nourished, to feel nurtured? And that shift brings the awareness back into yourself, into the body, and then the nervous system slowly, over time, starts to feel safe with that thing, right? Because the nervous system's like, right? The tension, the overwhelm, the stress, the shallow breathing, the gripping in the body as you're doing something towards receiving something that you want, receiving that new thing, that's your nervous system saying, ooh, this is an edge. So we don't bulldoze through that edge because then we won't be able to receive. So we soften the edge and we make ourselves and our body feel safe at that edge to then expand past the edge and expand. So then when the fruits of the labor come in from doing that action that we regulated our nervous system around, it sticks. It doesn't fall through the cracks. We don't self-sabotage it. We now feel safe to receive this thing. And this requires a certain level of self-awareness, self-regulation. It really requires you to be true and honest with yourself. Maybe to go a little bit slower through your activities, through your actions. You ever notice when you're doing something that you're scared to do, you rush through it? Like, I'll use myself as an example. I have no problem sitting here and talking to the camera like this. There's no one else in the room. But as soon as there's like other people in the room with me and I'm recording, I try to rush through it. I'm like talking a million miles a minute to the point where like I'm tripping over my words and I'm like, okay. So earlier today, actually, I was recording some content for a feature that I'm going to be featured in. And that's new for me, right? That's an expansion. And I noticed in the first few takes that I was rushing through my words and through what I was supposed to be saying. To the point where like the words were jumbling together. Like it sounded like a mess. It no longer made sense. And I literally said out loud, oh my God, wow, I'm talking so fast. And I stopped. I took a breath. I regulated instead of pushing through. And I said, okay, I am going to talk slower this next take. And I did. And guess what? Those next takes were better. They were useful. They were something we could use for the feature, right? But I was rushing through it because I felt uncomfortable. It was unknown. So my body was saying it was unsafe. So it rushed through it to get it over with. Until I had that moment of noticing the pattern, right? So you notice when it happens and then coming back in and stopping it by regulating, by doing whatever you need to do at that moment to come to your center. So as you continue to move on your journey of expansion, of self-realization, of creating your dream life, of receiving new opportunities, of success, of calling in more abundance, more money, keep this nervous system piece at the front. Like, make it a priority. In my money magic, which is where I blend the energetics and the practical in wealth creation, because I've been a tax accountant for the past 10 years, and I'm also a master in energetics and a transformational coach. So my money magic philosophy combines these. When I work with entrepreneurs on rewiring their money blocks and coming out of scarcity and stepping into abundance and feeling safe around receiving large amounts of money and feeling safe around receiving money for their gifts and being seen and visibility and holding more. The nervous system is a giant piece of that, because there's something that I teach in that where it's called our income ceilings. I'm sure you've heard of income ceilings before. And we have this income ceiling where we can't hold anything above that. Like, we try, and maybe we like have a month where we make more, and then like all of a sudden like that money goes out the door, right? Like we oh wow, I finally made more money, yay, and then like, oh wait, where'd the money go, right? Or oh, I just can't like seem to make more than X amount a month or X amount a year. That is because that is your nervous system cap, actually. So in order to move past that nervous system cap, you need to notice when you get those triggers, when that tenseness comes through, when you think about growing beyond that in terms of income, right? So whether that be like, oh, it's hard for me to step into the identity of someone that makes more than that because I think that means XYZ. Like, I think I'm going to have more responsibilities and I don't have time for the more responsibilities. Or I'm afraid of what people might think of me. Or what if I receive that much money and I lose it because I don't trust myself holding that much more money? Like, there are so many stories that could be on the other side of that nervous system cap, that income cap. And it's about peering behind why the things aren't sticking in your life, or why you aren't able to receive certain things in your life, or why you keep getting capped at a certain level in your life. It's not random. You're not cursed. There's certainly nothing wrong with you. You are human. It is your nervous system. It is your nervous system saying, I don't feel safe here. So if you would like support on working with your nervous system, regulating your nervous system to be able to hold more, breathwork sessions are available, link below and in the show notes. I do one-on-one breathwork sessions, energy work sessions. I also have a couple spots open for my one-on-one mentorship to help you like one-on-one, like holding your hand through this journey of expansion. And if you want to learn more about Money Magic, my signature wealth building course, information below on that as well. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode.